a very chronically online person, I want to talk about a social media phenomena that I have been very interested in for a very long time. Grab your Baja Blast, grab your Gordita Crunch Wrap. Okay, we're doing a deep dive into pretty privilege. Let's go.
Chapter 1: The Rags to Riches.
Pretty privilege is the phenomena that conventionally attractive people receive societal advantages in their lives. And this is true, okay? Research and studies have shown us time and time again that more conventionally attractive people are seen as morally better, they're kinder, they're seen as smarter, they attract better job opportunities, they're picked first on Love Island every single season, and the list can go on and on and on and on and on. This part of pretty privilege is what I like to call the do no harm effect of pretty privilege, and it's when ugly people are synonymous with like everything evil and wicked in the world, and hot people are synonymous with everything good in the world. Honestly, this stuff has been shoved down our throats since the beginning of humanity. Like, for example, look at ancient arts, where they would literally depict literal goddesses as hot women. They were literally like, oh yeah, you see that goddess over there with the hips and the gold hair? Be more like her. Sure body tea, 100% aura, okay? But you see these ugly bitches over here? They're witches and we're gonna burn their asses. Okay, only ugly bitches have bubonic plague. In The Wizard of Oz, Glinda literally said,
only bad witches are ugly.
Damn, bitch. In classic Hollywood movies like Cinderella, Cinderella was a helpless poor bitch, okay? But because she was so pretty, she was able to rizz up the prince at the ball, and all the irrelevant other hoes that were ugly, they stayed poor. That's what I learned from that movie. Oh, you got a big nose and double labial nose folds? Where you must be a and an evil stepsister. You guys remember like the whole Don't Judge Me challenge on Vine, or if you're, Gen Z on Musical.ly, where the whole idea of this trend was that hot people would cosplay as like ugly people and then transform themselves back to being hot. And then the whole point of it was to be like, oh, don't judge me because you never know if an ugly person has a six-pack. Remember that shit? This is my impression of like what they wanted us to react like when we were watching the Don't Judge Me challenge, okay? Ew, acne? She must be a Nazi. Wow, clear skin? She must be a princess who's good at math and vegan. Wow! So you guys get my point, right? The whole pretty people can do no harm effect has been around for ages. But I feel like pretty privilege in the modern day has completely changed due to influencer culture. Being the it girl back in the day used to be borderline impossible, okay? Like, first of all, you had to be extremely hot and probably white. You had to be really lucky that your fairy godmother sent you some Hollywood creep that scouted you in like a mall or something, or be a nepo baby, and maybe you get the chance to be a one-hit wonder, maybe you have a career. It was all up in the air. But with the rise of social media and the internet being able to uphold a lot more it girlies, being the it girl became a lot more attainable. I mean, we literally saw so many girls that were just like us bullying us in gym class one day, and then laughing with Ellen doing crypto ads on NBC the next day because they were hot and they went viral. Kim Kardashian made a sex tape and now she's a huge celebrity, and every single Gen X bitch with the Karen haircut and a Dreamcatcher tattoo eats that shit up. Charlotte D'Amelio and Addison Rae were doing dance moves on TikTok, and now they're on movies, recording artists, they have a TV show. Do you know how pretty you have to be able to pull off this dance move on TikTok and not be put on the FBI watch list? I like to call this part of pretty privilege the influencer brainworms effect of pretty privilege. And it's where you associate hot people with this influencer glamorous lifestyle. Being pretty no longer just meant that people view you as a better person and the do no harm effect, but now it has this added connotation that if you can have pretty privilege, it's the ultimate cheat code to life, and everyone should go crazy trying to attain it.
Chapter 2: You can't sit with us.
Back in the day, being hot was pretty simple, right? If you were like the third hottest girl in Wakanda, Illinois, you probably won prom queen and maybe there's a statue of you. But now, because there's way more hot people that we're just mindlessly scrolling through, and social media has given us this illusion that being pretty is like the most worthy thing you could ever have, it's almost become like a measuring contest. It's not enough to be pretty anymore. Now there's like a status quo that needs to be upholded. A way to keep up this status quo is making sure that we have new insecurities for people to worry about every single day. Last year, I just figured out that I should have been more insecure about my hip dips. If you have hip dips, you're like a disgusting peasant and you're ugly. Because only ugly bitches that are not disciplined and have a gambling addiction have hip dips. I've also seen a huge surge in people going insane over the anti-aging stuff, like literally telling kids that if you have forehead lines when you smile, that's like you aging really badly. I also recently learned about canthal tilt. So apparently, I guess it's like if your eye lines go this way or this way. So if your eye lines go this way, you have negative canthal tilt, and apparently that means that you're a beta male, a cuck, you have no riz, and nobody likes you. I wonder how far we're going to get on like how many new insecurities that people could come up with. Are we gonna look at fingerprints? You know, or if you have the spiral fingerprints, it means that you're a sigma male with a huge cock. And if you have any other type of fingerprints, it means that you're a cuck and a beta male. Okay, let's say you don't have hip dips and you have positive canthal tilt and you have spiral fingerprints. Okay, does that mean you're pretty? Don't worry, there's a bunch of videos on TikTok that will let you know. For example, we have this video here that talks about if you have a modern face or a classic face.
What is the difference between modern and classic beauty? Number one, classic beauty used to focus more on facial harmony, and modern beauty focuses more on striking features. Number two, modern beauty puts a lot more emphasis on ethnic ambiguity. This is when a person's racial background cannot be easily identified. Number three, modern faces' features are much more exaggerated than the ones of classic beauty faces. The lips are bigger, the cheekbones are even more prominent, and the facial definition even more extreme. Number four, classic beauty focuses on traditionally feminine features, while modern beauty adds elements of androgyny. Gal Gadot's jawline is much more defined, and she has a more traditionally masculine square face shape compared to Linda's feminine oval or diamond-shaped face.
What if you're built like a torta? Is that modern or is that classic? Asking for a friend. You know, my favorite part about this is imagine existing and somebody makes an MLA formatted video to tell you that you're not classically pretty. Oh yeah, Anne Hathaway, she doesn't have a modern face. She probably couldn't go viral doing this move on TikTok. But she looks like she would have a husband that cussed her out because she made bad Folgers coffee in the 50s. Yeah, she's more classic beauty. Another trend I've been seeing is iPhone face. I guess iPhone face means that you have the face of someone that would only live in modern day, which like means that you're not classically pretty, I guess. Honestly, it would have been super funny if like the classically pretty faces are like faces that look like they have bubonic plague. They have like smallpox scars. I guess I cannot wait until all the Gen Z girlies that are using all this slang become like the middle-aged Southern ladies that are super passive-aggressive. Oh honey, you're real pretty, but I wouldn't start a Trojan war over you, so I'm gonna say you've got iPhone face. The next pretty privileged trend I've been seeing a lot of is the Hawaiian song trend. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen Leah Halton go super viral doing this trend here, and then a bunch of other hot people started doing that exact trend, and like if you went viral it meant that you were like really TikTok pretty. 122 million views for this. She's gorgeous, but 13 million likes, damn. Okay, kind of mean, but okay. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, if I went viral doing the Hawaiian trend, I would never shut the up about it. Like I literally would be like one of those 40-year-old guys that like peaked in high school and they still talk about their glory days.
Yeah, I sell used cars now, but back in summer 24, I got 1 million likes doing the Hawaiian trend. Yeah. Yeah, you see that Boost Mobile over there? That's where I went viral. You have good memories. Hey, saw you from over there. Yeah, I went viral back in 2024 doing the Hawaiian trend, so I want to give you guys a few pointers. Yeah, make sure that your hips are square, that the power comes from your arms, and that you go
Oh my god, you guys, I would honestly die if there was like a new America's Next Top Model, but all the poses were like the TikTok shit. Guys, I fear I just ate, okay? I devoured. I didn't chew, I devoured, bitch. Another pretty privilege trend I've been seeing is determining whether or not you're boy pretty or girl pretty.
How to tell if you're guy pretty or girl pretty. Now, guy pretty is universal, okay? If you're pretty to guys, you're gonna be pretty to girls as well. But with girl pretty, you're more just prettier to the girls, and the guys are like, they either find you cute, they don't find you ugly, but they're just like, you know. But I just feel like the guys like go for the same type of look over and over again, and they don't really like see or appreciate like beauty in imperfection and flaws the same way girls do.
Honestly, it seems like the only consistent thing amongst all of these videos is that boy pretty means that you have to have large and in-charge cans. But I don't understand that because us girly pops really appreciate some large mommy milkers. So I feel like it's not just a boy pretty thing, it's like a girl pretty thing too. Honestly, I appreciate how creative these people can get into discriminating against one another. Is there a test for whether or not you're George Washington pretty? And we're looking to see that if your face would suit like wooden teeth or some shit. Next week there's a trend that tells you if you're millennial pretty, and it's just a bunch of girls wearing infinity scarves asking to see if they could ever like work at a Seattle coffee shop in 2013. Guys, let me know if I'm millennial pretty. Let me show you some poses.
Feminine energy, feminine energy, feminine energy, feminine energy, feminine.
Pretty girls hang out with pretty girls because you can't take ugly girls places.
So the sounds of this video got taken down as I was editing this video, but essentially she goes on to say that pretty girls get a lot of opportunities that ugly girls don't get, and hanging around ugly girls may have lessened her opportunities that she would have gotten as a pretty girl. Yeah. This girl really just said, look bitch, if you are ugly, don't even breathe the same air as me, bitch. Honestly, I wonder what opportunity she's talking about that she thinks she lost out on because she's around ugly people.
I was supposed to win a Danimal sweepstake featuring Dylan and Cole Sprouse, but I sat next to an ugly person in 6th grade, so I didn't win.
The next time I like want to complain about something that I didn't get, I'm just gonna say it's because I sat next to ugly people. Because I would have had 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but like I sat next to an ugly person today, so.
You're not gonna be mad at me if I say the post where people be like, what's the downside to being pretty is misogynistic, fueled by self-centered women. There's no downside to being pretty, baby. That happens to most, if not all, women.
One thing I cannot stand is a person who try to misunderstand people on purpose. Just like the pretty girls say, people mistreat us because they feel like we feel like we're better, or we feel like we're prettier. People mistreat you because they feel like you never been through anything because you're pretty. That's exactly what y'all doing to them. And Selena, I just want to know, how do you know what a pretty girl go through if you're not in their shoes?
So let me clarify what this video is talking about. So the first girl you saw in the video is talking about all the pretty people that come onto TikTok, and they're like, the downside to pretty privilege is that men are mean to us and we lose friends and boo-hoo-hoo, cry for us. And she's saying that's not really a downside to pretty privilege, that's just like straight up sexism. And even ugly women get mistreated by men, they lose friends, the whole shebang. And then the second girl stitched her video pretty much saying like, well, how would you know? You're not a pretty girl. This is what I mean with like people selling their soul to gatekeep pretty privilege. Honestly, both the women in this video are pretty and experience pretty privilege. So what was the point of the second girl bashing the first girl and telling her she doesn't have pretty privilege? Like, are there Pokemon cards that keep score, and once we have enough points, now we can get into different tiers of being pretty? Like if you have hip dips, it's negative 10 points. If you went viral doing the Hawaiian trend, that's like plus 1,000. If you're built like a torta like me, like you're just knocked the f out, like your monster went to the graveyard and you can't be revived.
Chapter 3, the cost of pretty privilege.
I want to point out that my biggest issue with modern pretty privilege is the way that people would literally sell their souls for a sliver of pretty privilege. We're forming new insecurities in people. We're gatekeeping people out of these tiers of being hot for whatever reason. And we're doing this all for the prize of pretty privilege. But pretty privilege doesn't always give you exactly what you think it's going to give you. For example, social media has given us this illusion that going viral for being pretty is like winning the lottery. Like now life will be on easy mode. Social medias like TikTok are built to churn out and make money out of trends. And part of those trends are the it girlies and hot people. It girlies have become this new commodity that we can just scroll through to the point where we don't even know their names. They're just trends to us. For a while, we talked about Leah earlier in the video, but you know, most people would know her as the Hawaiian girl. There's tube girl, there's blue sweatpants girl, there's tube top girl, and Haktua girl. But it wasn't just this lottery and now they can just live life on easy mode. Sabrina, or Tube Girl, is now doing like runway model gigs, she's vlogging, she's collabing with people. Leah was a influencer before this, and now she's a bigger influencer now, and she's continuing to do interviews and makeup tutorials and vlogging and all this stuff. To me, it kind of just shows that it's kind of like American Idol or America's Got Talent or America's Next Top Model or something, where it's a great head start and gets you exposure, but you're not going to have a career, or you're not going to have a bunch of money for the rest of your life for going viral one time.
So I really started after the show because that really didn't do anything for my career. Which it doesn't do anything for any model's career, realistically.
Another example of the price you pay for being an it girly is, of course, Kylie Jenner. Now, Kylie Jenner has become a billionaire by selling her image and making us buy her makeup products so that we can look like her when she has a bunch of plastic surgery. And just recently, after going to the Met Gala a couple months ago, she was like found crying about how everyone just criticizes her and she never feels comfortable in her skin.
I just feel like after Paris, there was like this picture, which for the first time I was like, okay, we're not gonna wear a lot of makeup. So it's like, I'm wearing too much makeup, and it's like, you're wearing too much makeup. Then I go and I don't wear a lot of makeup and someone catches me in like a weird light. You can look at pictures since I'm 13. I just have these lines, but I've had them since I was a child. I'm kind of like so numb to people talking about my looks at this point, and I just want to know why on the internet no one says anything or think that it's okay.
Well, I think that's a general thing with our family. We're dehumanized. Like they don't think that there's any rules with us.
And then I'll see some comments and it's like, or some people be like, this is really mean, and defend me. Like, why are we talking about her looks? It's 2024. And then I'll see other comments like, because she did it to herself. She up her face, she has so much surgery. And I'm like,
Now, even though I find Kylie Jenner very pretty, and I don't even know how she puts up with all the hate, like I would start swinging. This is kind of the price that you pay for using your looks and your prettiness as a commodity that you sell to people.
Now, I am fully aware that people are way too comfortable criticizing women's looks no matter who they are, but the point I'm trying to make here is that when you make $1 billion and your job relies on people finding you attractive, and that's kind of like the brands that you have around yourself, people are going to give you way more unsolicited comments about the way you look because they feel entitled, as if this is like a product that you are selling them. I am not condoning the mean comments, but I am just showing that this is a price you pay for essentially being a billionaire off being hot.
So as your big sister on the internet, here is the message I want to tell you. Pretty privilege does exist. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be prettier. There is nothing wrong with getting plastic surgery or losing weight or obtaining pretty privilege or even wanting to obtain pretty privilege, because pretty privilege is a real thing, as science and research has shown us. However, it's also extremely overrated. Pretty privilege is a great head start in anything. It will definitely get you head starts and opportunities in certain things. However, it's not a win the lottery, get out of free jail card that everyone is making it out to seem. With that said, this is my first video doing a video essay about a more serious topic instead of going balls to walls on jokes. So please give me some feedback on whether or not you like this style, or just just really anything to make the videos better for you guys. And of course, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment, follow me on my other platforms, and I will see you guys in my next video.